Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show. Let's see what was happening today. We had a few poppers happening. How about that TRA or TARA Tara? Holy cow, that thing was hot. That thing was flying. There's a few other ones that were going nuts today. So let's take a look. That PRFX was still moving up. It was running SOUN. We saw a few other ones running up. So we'll take a look at them all and see what's happening, what's going to be popping tomorrow and for next week. So here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. I hope everybody had a great day, locking in some profits. And the market was kind of all over the place today, a little bit mixed. Microsoft was up, Nvidia was down just a hair. Google and Meta were both down, and Amazon and Tesla were both up. Apple was just kind of flat. So it was all over the place, red and green all over, looking like Christmas time. So let's see what's going to happen with these bad boys real quick. Elab, again, reverse split the other day, just getting into the right place right there. I would be keeping an eye on it tomorrow now. It's starting to look like that. Well, I think one of them popped off. Yeah, I think it was about like 6 or 7 trading days later. We're on two, but this thing is getting set up. So you're right about there. Watch for any dip and rip. They've been loving to do it. So just watch Elab because that bad boy is getting set up. It's looking much better right there after that reverse split. It's in that spot where it needs to be, and it is looking pretty decent. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. Elab, here we go. Yeah, it's just sitting right there, not looking bad at all. And again, getting to be right in the right spot. It could pop off at any moment, and it looks like it's going to very soon. So keep your eye, and again, watch for them dip situations. What was the low? Let me blow it up here. The low the other day, 174. What were we today? 189. So you pretty much in that 174 to 189. You're at $2 in the after hours. So just keep an eye on Elab because it's getting set up there. And that is ELAB and XTIA. Here we go with this bad boy because this thing was trying to get run up. It ran up the other day, never kept the momentum, just pulled back kind of nicely right down to that bottom floor right there at XTIA. And yeah, it's not looking bad. Again, it has to just get up over that 5 cents to get moving. It was up there yesterday and just couldn't keep itself up. It did it the day 2 days ago on December 2nd. So it's like every other day. So tomorrow could be the day where it pops off if it runs this kind of pattern, what it's been doing. So keep an eye on this bad boy. I don't think it's getting back in the basement after it just ran like that and has been setting up there. So I think you're going to be looking pretty decent there. So definitely be keeping your eye on XTIA tomorrow as well. And this one's just a crazy one. LXRX, I'm telling you, it has a weird look, was pulling back a little today, and you just can't tell if it's the bottom, but it could be 62 cents. And it's like the MACD, the two lines that just like joined together and they're just running. You can't even tell what's going on. It's kind of bizarre that it's done it for multiple days. That's why it has my attention because I generally don't see something like this. So it's keeping my attention. I know that. And it almost looks like today would be the bottom. So keep an eye on this bad boy. It did go up a penny in the after hours, but it just has that interesting look. And like I said, it's just kind of the two lines, even on mine, I mean, it's trying to curl up at this moment, but they've just been running for days together. Let me see where it started. Yeah, like 4 trading days. So that's not very common. So I'm not sure. And again, I had that crazy look up here at 80 cents, and now we're at 65, and its low is 62. So keep an eye on this bad boy. I don't know what's going on with this, and it is setting up bullish, but that would be a little more time up there, but it could get popping. So again, LXRX, Lexicon Pharmaceuticals, just a bizarre look, but something can happen there. HAO, I know a lot of people are checking this bad boy out. It did run up yesterday. It wasn't too crazy, but it definitely ran. And today just looks like a little healthy pullback. It didn't look like anything crazy to me. And what kind of everything was all over the place, jumping around, and this kind of just pulled back a little bit. It went from 15 to 13. That's where it closed. and it not looking terrible. So we'll keep an eye on HAO. And again, it did run up yesterday. It didn't get cruising. It looks like it wants to roll off that MACD and bounce off that bottom, and that would be really healthy for it tomorrow. It could pop up there, and if it gets moving, it has room all the way up to 18 cents. And again, you're under 13 right there, and that is HAO. And let's look at that PGHL because that started to move in the after hours, and this is that one that has that big dip, and we've been looking at it. Let me take a look at it on mine because it's going to have that after hours look. And we've been waiting for it to curl up, and it does. It has that little curl up look finally. Still has some time to set up. I'm not going to lie. But let's just try to find where the bottom is. It's very hard to kind of figure it out. Let me see right here today, probably 131 it got down to today. And let's see where it got up to 194. So that it could be ready to get curled back up there. And again, this thing has so much room that it could just run like forever. Just because it ran all the way up to the 200 range and then came all the way back down, and we're sitting there looking at it at $1.34. And you imagine you were chasing this thing while it was running up the other day on November 26th, and it got up to 210, and that was in the pre-market or after hours. I forget now. And it opened at 11:35. Its low is 981. Can you imagine you were chasing this thing? It got up in like the 200s and all of a sudden came back down. And we're looking at it right now at $1.94. I mean, it came down pretty low the next day too, $1.34 the very next day. That's a crazy dip and run right there. So that's why I don't like to even chase them. But obviously momentum plays. But now this thing's going to get set up, so we're going to keep an eye on it. It's an engineering construction company. Yeah, company in Hong Kong. And there you go, a PGHL. We'll keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do. Let's look at that BLDE. It was down a little bit today. And again, this thing's just healthy, just bouncing around as it sets up. So you can keep an eye on that bad boy. And that was funny. Luis Rodriguez just said, James Wilson says, never catch a falling knife. He's not kidding. And that's exactly right there. So you got to be careful with them bad boys, that PGHL. Like, I don't try to get involved when they're getting that crazy. And I'll take the momentum play up, but you got to be careful. Once they start hitting certain numbers up there, like you see that thing getting the 100 and 200 hour area, you got to just kind of back off and beware because it's going to get a little, it's coming down. The shorters are going to grab that thing and just crush it because it's easy money coming down, and it's harder to push it up at that point. So you just got to be very careful on things like that. It's worth just waiting for it to set back up and then nail it again like we are. So absolutely never catch that falling knife, Luis Rodriguez. And BLDE again, just pulling back. The company's healthy. I didn't even think it would have ran up as much as it has been, but it is. And like I said, it's going to not get lower than that $4 probably. So let it pull back, set up. And again, the company is looking bullish over time. And that was the one that we were talking about the other day. And that's BLDE. And TRNR was dipping down. I just want to see if it gets into that basement and we won't worry about it. I'm not so sure it is. It almost keeps having that little dip and rip look and keeps trying to pop up here. And it isn't getting as low as it did down here at what, like 250. It still hasn't gotten down that far yet. Today's low is 272, so we'll see tomorrow what it wants to do, that TRNR, and I'll keep an eye on that. KWE is that aerospace and defense in Canada. It was down 2 cents. It was moving yesterday, and this one has a crazy look today, just how it pulled back and opened and closed right around the same price, like right around 70 cents. And let me just take a look at it and see what it wants to do now. It is sitting on that 20, and I mean, it could do. It's kind of like I said, it has that weird look, and it could go any which way. I'll have to look at this tomorrow morning. It just has an interesting look. Like I can't really tell what it wants to do, and I will definitely take a look at that one. So We'll look at KWE in the morning. ITRM, this thing's been running up. It was all the way up to what, 295 today, and it's up at the top. And again, it's going to run up here and then have to pull back and set back up to go higher. So you're going to see it possibly get up over three. Maybe it doesn't run up tomorrow some more. Maybe it does not. Doesn't really matter at this point because we had it way down there. And but yeah, it's going to run up a little bit, pull back, and then get running some more. So they have some good stuff going on here. And that's ITRM right there. So we'll keep an eye on that because that is bullish over time as well. And CETX, let's take a look at that one. That was starting to move today, and it did reverse split the other day. Yesterday did look like it's bottom, so keep an eye on this thing because it does look like it finally wants to start moving here, and that is CETX. So we'll look at that in the morning and see if it's finally trying to move here. And like I said yesterday, it looks like it was its bottom at 271. It's at 310, so keep an eye on CETX for a little momentum. And that plug, how about that plug power? We were just talking about that on here, and that was flying today. It was set up looking good and curled up, so it did what it needed to do, that's for sure. And PLUG went from 209 to 256. It's at 244, and it still doesn't look bad. And we were just talking about it, and it looked bullish, and there you go. So plug power going up just as we thought, and it might even keep that momentum tomorrow. So you can keep an eye on that in the morning, see if it wants to continue to run. And let's look at the yin and the yang. The yin was up just a hair, but I mean, it's not really, it's trying to curl up, but I'm not so sure it's going to bust through that 20. I was looking at it today and I thought to myself, well, it has that look, it keeps doing this, and I'm not so sure it's ready. So let's look at the yang and see what that wants to do. The yin is the bull for the China, and the yang is the bear. And again, the yang's just coming down, and I think it's going to have to curl off that MACD and get rolling. I'm not so sure it wants to come down underneath that 20 right now. So I'll keep an eye on them tomorrow because tomorrow could be a good day to be able to tell. And again, it looks like it wants to curl off that MACD, so we'll look. And if it does, that's when they're going to start moving. So we'll be able to tell which direction they really want to move. Probably tomorrow, I would have to assume. If not, definitely Monday. But they should start having that look tomorrow. So I'll be checking them out. BOIL, good old Boyle, that was up a little bit today. And yesterday looks like that was its bottom. So you may see this start to bounce up. And we were looking at these yesterday, and again, they just keep reversing and going up and then pulling back. But this one looks like it's about to go back up, and that's the natural gas bull one, the ProShares Ultra Bloomberg natural gas two times. And yeah, this thing looks like it's going to be nice, and that's Boyle. And the other one is Cold, KOLD, and this was pulled back 52 cents, it says. And again, it just looks like it just crossed through, but it doesn't look like it really wants to get popping right there. So the cold, I mean, it did run up yesterday. It almost looks like that high at 72.55. So we'll have to keep an eye on it tomorrow just to see what they want to do. But they're just both setting up to do something. And you can kind of tell, looks like Boyle is going to get hot and cold is going to get colder, is what it looks like at the moment. But that could all change around. And like I said, because Boyle's getting set up here to kind of change directions, and cold, that's been bullish for a while, and it's still set up bullish, but it looks like it could fizzle out if it comes back down under this 55, you're going to see it get bearish and change up. And obviously, Boyle would look really bullish there. So we'll keep an eye on that Boyle and cold. And that is the oil and gas, or the natural gas ETFs right there. And NUG, here we go, NUGT. That's the gold miners index bull. And this bad boy is just kind of sitting there on that 20. But I'm telling you, this thing's going to get curled up and looking good. Gold's going to be looking really nice too. So I think gold's going to be looking healthy. The NUG does look decent there. Let's look at the DUST. And although that one looks like it wants to pop, another one, it looks like it wants to pop up right now and then get bearish. So it does look like the gold miners, the bear one, wants to run real quick, but I'll keep my eye on it because it could never make it there and just kind of fizzle out and dip. So I'll keep my eye on them. But again, that one looks like it's going to stay bearish, and the other one, the what is it? The NUGT looks like it's going to be bullish right there. And SPUU, let's take a look at that. That's the daily S&P 500, and it's just sitting right on that line at that resistance line. It didn't. It tried to get into the top today. It pulled itself out. Could have a little bit of pullback tomorrow. Is what it looks like according to the SPUU. I'll just look at the SPY real quick, and it's just sitting right there. And I know it did get it just yeah, like I said, it tried to get into the top and it pulled itself out. It could easily get pulled up there. You can't even tell what it wants to do tomorrow, honestly. It's so hard to get that look right there. So it'll be a basically surprise in the morning, I'd have to say. But LMBO, that crypto industry bull, this one was trying to curl up hardcore and it's hitting that line and pulling back. So we may see some pullback, which is fine with me because I would like to grab some of these at a much lower price and get them long-term options and get them before they go up anymore here. So that's LMBO. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And QQQU is the daily Mag 7 bull, and this thing's running up into the top and looking pretty solid up there. It did come down a little in the after hours, but it is looking really bullish. And this thing's probably a great one to play. So we're going to start playing that one probably next week, the QQQU. And let's look at the FNGG, which is the Fang. Basically, almost the same thing, but this is the bull two times and almost looks very similar, about to get into that top. Hard to tell. So they're all just sitting right there where they can either jump into the top at this point or pull back, and they're just setting up super bullish, especially this Fang one is setting up super bullish. I would like to see it back down here at the 170, so that's why I'm saying we could see that little bit of pullback here maybe tomorrow. It could be a little flat. We'll see how it opens up. We'll be on at 7 a.m. You know that, so it's just really hard to tell tonight. I'm not gonna lie. UBOT, UBOT, that's that artificial intelligent and automation index bull. And this one was just pulling back a little bit, and another one just super bullish. So I honestly want to find these lowest prices, probably around like $25 on here. And this thing's setting up to be super bullish. So these things are setting up down the road to get crazy. The Gush is the S&P oil and gas. That's the bull that was kind of pulling back a little bit, but nothing crazy. Kind of stopping at that 50 right there. And the Drip is the bear one. It was going up, but it looks like it's going to stop at that 50 there at 1028, and it's at 1004. And again, these are great ETFs to look at and options to mess with if they do. I have to look, and that's what I had to look at. I have to see if all these do have options. I obviously they're ETFs. They should, but they're great ones. They're cheaper, and you can start to understand how they work. And plus, when you hit these ones, they are two times, so they will pay out a little bit better. So that's that Drip, DRIP, and URAA is the uranium one. And I'm telling you what, this thing is getting set up. Just watch for any dips right here, but it is starting to set up. So we're gonna have to go through that whole uranium sector because it did run what about a month, 3 weeks ago maybe, and we were way early on that. I know Laptop Travel was telling us about them probably a month before they started to run. So that's URAA, and that's that uranium sector, and it's going to get fired up there. SPXL is the S&P Bull 500, and that one's just sitting there. It looks exactly like the SPUU, so we'll try to do them together. And the SPXX is the bear one, and actually it was up 3 cents. Looks like it's trying to curl up, and again, it does look like it wants to get that little pop. So I'll keep an eye on that. It's a good one to check out to see the opposite. I do like to look at them sometimes, and they just tell you like the yin and the yang. You get a better idea. So we'll keep an eye on them bad boys. TNA, that's the small cap bull, and that's actually pulling back right now. And so TZA, the bear, that should be looking pretty good. So yeah, that one looks much better. So keep an eye on that one. And DFEN, that's the aerospace and defense bull defense bull 3 times, the ETF for that, and that's just pulling back right here, but getting set up. So there you go for them bad boys, and I'm gonna redo the list and everything and make it so it's nice and smooth, and we have our little ETF sections, our big caps, and we'll not now all them bad boys because I'm telling you they are great, and I'm gonna get the video up for the options so everyone knows what's going on, and we'll just start rocking and rolling and getting crazy with it. So there you go with them bad boys, and let's keep on cruising right through and see what else we have. And it is a little better. We won't go that nuts, and I'll go through the scanner at the end and look at what's popping and what looks good, and cut the list back a little bit, and we'll have a little extra time there and energy to do that. So I think that'll work out better. And again, we're just going to pinpoint and really zero in on the best profitable ones and the best opportunities. And we'll pick out all the penny stock poppers like we always do. But we'll really focus on some of these options and the big caps and stuff like that. And yeah, they're just much easier to trade, I promise you. And so let's keep rolling through here. NKLA. Let's look at this bad boy. That's way down there in the basement. It is curled up and not looking too bad. I have to see this on my chart right here. NKLA. Could be its bottom like yesterday, what, 165, what today, 165, the day before that, 164. So building that base right there, I would keep an eye on this thing because it's way down there, guys. And it could be building a base. We just have to make sure it's in the basement. So I will keep an eye on that tomorrow and keep us posted. That might be one to keep on the list, just to see what it's going to do because that one could get really set up there. NKLA. It is farm and heavy construction machinery. So we'll keep an eye on that. RAPT, I know we looked at this last night. It was pulling back a little bit, but it is right there, guys. I mean, it's probably going to be popping off next week. So just keep your eye on it. It is setting up, but it isn't exactly popping. It could run though, but it's not having that look. GFAI, this Guard Force AI, this one was running up today and probably will keep that momentum today or tomorrow. It went 126 to 162. It's sitting at 160, and it does look like it wants to keep that momentum right there. So that's that GFAI. So keep an eye on that bad boy for some momentum in the morning. And RVPH, let's look at that. RVPH real quick. Here we go. And let me know what you guys want to look at, and we'll go through all that. RVPH was up today. And let's see what it wants to do for tomorrow. It went 128 to 148, and it's at 144 right now. And it does look like it wants to continue up, but it could be one of them ones in the morning. Just watch for it to get up to that 160 area, and it's going to hit that resistance right there. So watch for a little momentum on that one, RVPH. And LEN, someone said today, no, it wasn't this one, it was a different one. I know which one it'll be when we get to it. One of them, someone said, and it ran up, but LEN was definitely not it. I can tell by looking at it. This thing was dipping down, but could have that little dip and rip situation down 240 today. LEN, good old Len. And yeah, it's trying to cross down. I'll have to keep an eye on this because this could be a good one. It is setting up right there, back up at that 176. So it'll get back up there. Let this one run down and set back up, LEN. And then that will be a good one right there. And let's look at CRKN. That one's been pulling back. It was down 4 cents and trying to curl up there and just hasn't been able to do it. It's looked like it's been its bottom a few times, but it could be a little dip and rip situation. Got down to 21. It's at 24 right now, CRKN. And yesterday had that weird look, and then today it has that dip as it's curling up. So today very well could be that bottom, and I'm telling you, there's so many of them having that dip and rip. That's why I've been a little more patient with even the bigger ones that are doing the same thing. You can kind of see where they want to start going back up, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, you don't have to nail the exact bottom, but you also don't want to be getting in it on November 29th and jumping in when it's at like 35 cents as it's pulling back here. And then today it's low as 21 cents and its high is only 32. So you want to be kind of patient to wait. And then again, you find that bottom. All right, today was 21 and I have a feeling that's the bottom. We'll check it out tomorrow, confirm it, and then you can start to look at it because you know it's going to start going up and just play that dip and look for the best buying opportunity right there. And again, you might not ever catch that very bottom of 21, but at least you know where it's at. And then you're confident, like, hey, if it gets down to 23, I'm pretty close to that bottom and it's going to start working its way up. So that's kind of what I look for right there. And that's why I point out the bottoms for you guys, just so you can get an idea. And that's why we were patient with them sometimes and said, hey, let's look for that bottom, make sure it confirms where it's at so you know where it's at, and then you can get your buy-in price as low or as close to that as they jump around. Again, sometimes they never come back down, which is perfectly fine. You don't need to be at the very bottom. You just have to make sure that it's going back up. And and if you know that, if you know it hit its bottom, then it's obviously going to start going back up. And then you try to find them dips that get as close to it. So that's all you look for. And that's why I point them things out for you. And you do it with the big caps and the small caps because that buy-in price can make a huge difference, especially on some of these. Like a penny can be a big difference on these guys. So you want to make sure you're getting down as low as you can just in case it has any pullback. You're not really getting hit on it. You're kind of staying even if you can and always staying up on it as it moves up. And then if there is pullback, like I said, you're ahead of the game there. So that's CRKN, and it looks like we'll try to confirm that bottom. It could be bottoming out. So we'll look at that bad boy tomorrow and I'll let you guys know. And DUOL. Holy cow. DUOL. I was going to try to spell my name. Yeah, DUOL. This one's a crazy one. That's just messes with my brain right there. But this one's been popping up and it's been running in the top. I don't even know. Software technology company in the USA. I have no idea what this is up to, but it looks pretty damn good. I'll tell you that. It's up at 373. It ran up $8 today. DUOL. All right, here we go. And yeah, it does look pretty solid up there. It is in the top. It's been in the top many times and it comes down and runs back up. You just have to be careful. It only ran up there for that long time, basically in between September and October. And now it's just briefly been touching and coming out. So it's in there and it could easily come back down. But yeah, this is one that we could keep an eye on because that one's pretty solid right there. And that's DUOL. And BITF, this is at Bit Farms. And I'm telling you what, this is going to be a really good opportunity. Let it pull back. It was trying to get curled up there. I still think that bottom is like 193. So just watch for anything. But this is getting curled up and another one. It's way down there. And we've seen some of these financial capital market ones that are involved with crypto get really, really wild. And this has run up past 3, but again, this thing can get set up and really get blasted off. So you could get down at that bottom and really get this and buy it for a long term out, like for this crypto run basically. And this thing could get pumped up and cranking. I'm not saying it has to, but we've seen a lot of them, and it doesn't look bad. I mean, you can see it is setting up, but I mean the setup's way down there. So that's why I'm saying you can. This one's relatively cheap and hasn't really had that crazy run. It ran down there at like $1.13 for a while. It's run up at 3 and now it's at 208. So keep an eye on this BITF. And I know what Luis Rodriguez sent something today about it. I'll have to find out what it said and read it again. I totally forget, and I'll check it out in a little bit. But that's BITF, and like I said, that capital market and anything with crypto, they're looking pretty good, and everything with crypto. It got ran up so much it had to pull back. And we knew that, and now it's going to get set back up and run. We already know that too. So TWG, that top wealth group, let's see what this is up to right here. This is actually trying to curl up and make that base right there. So we may have our bottom coming in at that 26.5 cents. That could be it right there. And So we'll keep an eye on this bad boy and see if it wants to get curled up. We were looking at it for a little while and it just never did it. And it's getting really close now. So just keep an eye on this. This is a Hong Kong company. We've seen some of them get crazy. This one had that huge dip too. And it's just like literally ran flat as it curled up. So it could get moving here. So keep an eye on this TWG and watch for any dips on this bad boy. That 20 is at like 30 cents. Lower than 31. You're at 27. You're not far off. And maybe it's wait until next week, possibly, but it's right there. So keep an eye on that TWG. That one's the one to keep an eye on. That could get cruising. SNSE. That one is at Sensei Biotherapeutics. Let it pull back now. It did run up the other day. We were looking at it. It ran up. Now it's pulling back. It's going to set up and get blasted off, guys. So we'll just let it pull back right here. I'll let you know when it's getting ready, and we'll take it for that ride. So we knew it was running the other day. And again, these things aren't going to run like to eternity. I think people expect them to all run like 150% or 1,000%. These small ones just don't do what they used to. Very few do. And I mean, we hit the 100%ers almost pretty consistently anyway, but not everyone's going to do it. And that's why I was saying, some of these just run around and aren't really going to make that huge run that we look at. And some of them do. I mean, some of them make a decent run, 20%. I mean, all of this is pretty decent at the end of the day when you look at percentages. And that's why you got to kind of factor in, look at the chart and see where it can even get to and use that probability and risk, because what's the probability that these things are running over 100% when you look at it and they're like already catching that momentum and running hard, and they're not really making that room on the chart like they should be. You kind of see it like, hey, I don't think it's gonna be 100%, or maybe it's just going to be a 30% pop, and let me get the hell out of this thing with my 30% and take it to the next one. And a lot of these small ones, that's all they're doing right now. And I think some people have the thought process of penny stocks and small ones, they all run big. And that's not the case. I mean, you got to really have them setups and know exactly when they're about to. And we do point them out. We probably point out the most consistent ones on the daily. But again, look how many stocks you look at and look at how many will run that much. And so, yeah, they bounce around a lot. They jump around, have to get set up and be almost perfect anymore. Still, even with this administration probably coming in, the market's just a totally different market. And that's why you can see I've made the pivot and have really gone to the bigger caps and the easier ones. They're just way easier to trade anymore. And again, these penny stocks are just so crazy with Webull being at 4 a.m. You just can't be buying them in an E-Trade account and thinking that you're going to catch the maximum amount of profits on them, unless you're doing everything in Webull and getting up at 4 a.m. every single day, and that's your trading routine. I just can't see messing with them anymore, to be honest with you. It just doesn't seem logical to me. So that's why I started to look elsewhere and really start to pay attention to, things that people have been telling me for years. And now I totally get it. And it makes even more sense, like I said, with the how the penny stocks and the smaller caps have been running. But I mean, there are great opportunities. I know Laptop Travel, he's up early in the morning. He's trading them. He's locking in crazy profits, hitting these momentum plays, and other people are too. But it has to fit your lifestyle, and it's not for everybody. And again, Laptop Travel has been trading a really long time. You got to be able to trade these things really well too. So that's the other thing. And I always say it, you can pick all the 100%ers you want, but if you don't trade them smart, they're kind of useless. So you got to really be locking in profits fast. So just an idea, because I think a lot of people, because it ran up SNSE, did run up the other day, and it went like 51 to 63 cents, maybe a little more, and then the next day it was at 62 and came back down. I think people see these things and think they're all going to run past $1. And again, this thing, when it sets back up next time, it probably will have its bigger run right there. But that was just a perfect bounce. I mean, you could see it was setting up, it ran up, it did what it wanted to do, and now it's pulling back. So just wanted to explain that not every one of these is going to run 100% or be crazy. And that's why you got to look at them and say, hey, if I'm trading these things, I got to start locking in profits. I got to look at them. They're up 30%. 30%'s a big hit. And, and just, people get the idea that they all have to be 100%. And trust me, I've had that mindset myself for a while back in the day. And until I got that out of my head and was like, hey, I just got to lock these things in, that's when I started to be able to trade the penny stocks much better. And again, they were a much, much different market back then. I mean, you're talking a totally different market. I tell you all the time, I used to trade this one, used to trade that one. We're talking 4 or 5, 6+ years ago. I was knocking these things out, and they were just trading totally different back then. And yeah, they would run 100%, run the next day. You could just see what they were going to do. They were nice, and it's just not the same penny stocks that they used to be. And again, the market's changed completely. So anyway. I just wanted to tell you that because I know I had a couple people ask about SNSE and asked if it was going to pop up any higher. And so that's why I just kind of went and said that because it just kind of reminded me of a couple people asking me that. And I figured, well, if a few people ask, a couple other people are wondering and just didn't ask about it. So again, be careful with these penny stocks. I know I say it all the time, but you really have to be on your game and ready to trade them. You can't just be buying them and not paying attention because they will pop out of nowhere and then be down lower than what you bought it for. So here we go. Let's rock and roll through the list. Just wanted to keep everybody on the right page and know what you're looking at here. S dot, we were early on this thing. I know it's been pulling back now. We'll see if it hits this MACD line in this 20 right here. It very well could and bounce back up. So let me see what it did in the after hours. SDOT. I know someone was asking about this, saying we should take a look at it. And I was like, we just looked at it run all the way up. Actually, it just ran from like way down here in like the lower threes, maybe even lower. I don't even know. We've been looking at it for a while, and yeah, it just ran up past the 570 area, and it is pulling back here. And like I said, we'll see if it hits this 20 and the MACD line and can bounce back up. So that is SDOT, and we'll keep an eye on that. RDAR. A lot of people are talking about this. What is this thing? Let me see. RDAR. That's not even coming up. I don't even know. RDAR. Oh yeah, it's on it. It must be an OTC guy. And I did see a few people ask about it, and wow, it did run way up. I can see that just by looking at the chart, but I can't even really tell on this thing. Again, these OTCs are very hard. That's why I don't mess with them. It wasn't coming up on the FinViz. That's how I know. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it looks like it ran up. It could go more to up to a penny or 2 cents, I guess. I have no idea. They're just very tough. It has a weird looking chart, I can tell you that right now. And that's RDAR. I wish I could tell better OTCs. I know a lot of people do like them real cheap penny ones. I could never trade them because I just could never tell what the charts look like, and I just was never confident with it. So it just seemed like a coin flip to me. But I guess there's obviously way other styles of trading and different charts. But for what I do and have always done, I could never ever look at them OTCs, so or the pink sheets or anything like that. I just never ever traded them. But that's just me personally. FLYU. This thing's been running up here. It's a micro sectors travel 3 times leverage GTN, and it's just been steadily going up and staying in the top. And then today it ran up to like $71. It's back at 68, but this thing, I mean, it looks like it just wants to always go up. So it's an interesting ETF right there, FLYU, and that is another 3 times leveraged ETN right there. So another one we can keep an eye on, and that Tara, TARA, she went crazy today, didn't she? And we were looking at this chick way back down in the dollar range, I promise you. And today it went over 1150. So it opened at 355 and went to 1150 right there. And that was at TARA. And I remember we used to say Tara was going to look hot, and yeah, she got good. And it's been bullish. Like it ran a little bit, and then has stayed bullish ever since we were looking at it. It was the perfect pop off. So I mean, that was a perfect setup. And we looked at that a while back. Let's look at that Lion LGHL, and that was just pulled back a hair up a little more in the after hours. And again, just it looks like yesterday was at bottom and today. So it looks like some of these are really trying to make a base right here and then get cruising back up because they were down or they were trying to curl up and they just didn't get through the MACD. So now they're resetting up and looking like they're trying to base out and get moving. That's LGHL, REVB. I know we looked at this before. Revelation. That's touching that bottom and looks like it's making a base, and that's a nice little dip right there from the other day. REVB. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. That got down to what, 29 cents. It's back to 42. It opened at 55, got to 70, and came down to 29, and it's at 42. That's a heck of a day for that thing. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that thing tomorrow because that thing's going to be should be moving around again. This PW, I see people talking about this power right, and we looked at it the other day. It ran up yesterday. It ran up a little bit more today, and let's see what it looks like. Oh, PW, here we go. 219 to 259. It's at 223. And yeah, it's not looking too bad. I mean, it's at the top. Nothing that I would probably be chasing up there. And it looks like it almost tried to top out today at that like 259 area. So PW, we looked at it last night. It did pop up some more. It's probably going to try to set back up. It is looking pretty bullish long term too, but again, it ran up into the top, and you only get so much out of them, to be honest with you. So you might as well get rid of it and hit the next one and wait for it to set up. That elf was down. I looked at it this morning. I know we were talking about it last night. It looked good. And and that's why I looked at it this morning and I never mentioned it because it was down $5, but it was up in the after hours and it just looked like some healthy pullback right there. So I'll be looking at ELF in the morning, ELF, and we'll see if it wants to curl right back up and get cruising for the Christmas season and get moving back up here to that 150. It's at 131. So just waiting for it to have that best price, see if it wants to pull back anymore, and see what Elf wants to do. I just started looking at it yesterday or last night for the first time. So I'll look at that in the morning. SVRE is that Saver one. And let's see what that's up to. Down 3 cents. This thing is making that base down there too, and that 20's coming down for it. Not looking too bad right there. SVRE, I would say this is getting set up right here. I'd keep an eye on that one. SVRE not looking bad right there. TIVC, let's see that one real quick. Let's see what TIVC is up to here. Tivik Health System. Now this one's going to set up really good. Let it pull back and just let it get set up. We'll probably have to look at it next week. It almost looks like a little dip and rip today. What it do? 27 to 24. It's at 25. I don't think it's ready just yet. But this one will be good. This will be a great little setup right there. TIVC. I know we looked at it before. And let's look at QLGN. Qualigen Therapeutics. That was down 21 cents. And this thing's trying to get set up here. That 20 is going to send it for a ride probably next week, I'd imagine. So keep your eye on that. What did it do today? 476 to 534. It did run up. But again, it looks like it wants to get up into the sixes where that 50 is. It's still setting up. It's going to bounce in that channel. And QLGN should be getting set up to try to run up some more. At least it looks like it at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that bad boy because it's not looking bad. It recently split and it looks like it is setting up there. CADL, Candel Therapeutics. We looked at this recently. I remember I had that gray earnings and ran up right after on November 22nd. And this thing's curling back up and looking good. So keep your eye on CADL. It's looking pretty good right there. I would say, yeah, you should have a mover tomorrow with this thing. So keep an eye on that bad boy tomorrow. You should have a nice momentum play there with CADL. So I would look at that. And CDIO, let's see what CDIO is doing because it was running in the after hours. I know that. So what does FinViz say? It was up 16, then 11. So it was popping all day here, right up to the top. It went 32 to 64, and it's at 57. And like I said, it's in the top right there. And it does look like it wants to stay up there and run in the morning. Market conditions will really dictate what that's going to do, CDIO, but it could definitely run up in the top. That cardio diagnostic holdings, we were just looking at it recently. NCL, I'm telling you, we look at like all the poppers. And Laptop Travel does provide a ton of them. I'm telling you, his lists are great. So we just go through, and if you're playing penny stocks, they are amazing. And we point them right out. I mean, pretty much right to the timing. It's pretty wild that you could just go through, and a lot of them were weeks early on. And if you really pay attention, because we just look at so many of them, you can pick out like a handful of them, just watch them, and just know that a couple of them are going to really pop off there. So, I mean, the list just always has massive amounts of poppers on it, just nonstop. It's always we just looked at that, we just looked at that. And we do. So NCL, let's look at that one. That one is up 1%, but it looks like it ran in the after hours. Let me see. NCL, not sure if we were looking at this or not, but this opened at 26, got up to 39. It's at 34. And this one is curling up. Looks like it should have some good momentum in the morning. So keep an eye on that. I know SVMH was running up a little bit today. It did get up to like that yeah, I was gonna say 40 cents. It got up past 4 cents. It got up into the high 4 cent area, and we'll see if this can keep some momentum tomorrow again. It doesn't really have the look like it wants to. Not there anyway. Let me see. On here, it kind of does. It has to get up over that 50 at like 5 cents. It is at 4 cents right now. Mine says it closed at 3 to 7, and it's at 4. It could, I'm telling you. And actually, it looks like it has a way better shot now on here than it did on FinViz. Again, I just love the trend spider charts. They're great. And yeah, you should have this one should be trying to move again tomorrow, SVMH. So keep your eye on that one. NMHI. That is our Nature's Miracle holding, NMHI. And let's just see what you're up to. It was trying to crawl up there, just pulling back, and I still think that bottom's at 179. You're at 205 right there, NMHI. Let me just see. Yeah, I think you're about to have a runner right here, guys. So keep your eye on Nature's Miracle holding because that looks like it's supposed to move. Looking pretty good. I know SMX just did run that security company the other day. SMX Security Matters, and it ran yesterday. Just a little healthy pullback. I mean, 10 cents was probably a little more than healthy, but it doesn't look terrible. I'll say that. And they have their earnings coming up, what, the 17th? So that's next Tuesday. And I mean, it doesn't look terrible. We'll have to look at it in the morning. And again, once they run up like this, it's hard for them to keep that momentum. They're just not built anymore like they used to. They used to be able to run like 2 days with no problem. You could catch that next morning pre-market and know that's where you were probably going to top out at. They don't even get through one pre-market anymore. So it's kind of crazy. So you definitely have to be adjusted and adapted to a totally different market than it once was, and that's SMX, and that's that security company, Security Matters. And again, we'll have to see. It just looks like some healthy pullback. It could bounce back up there. I think SSR is being like delisted or something, so I'm not even sure what that one is. SSR. Let me look if it's on mine. No, I don't even see it. Oh yeah, SSRM. It must have been SSR mining before, and maybe it is getting delisted. It looks pretty good to me. If it's SSRM, this thing looks pretty decent. I'm not sure if that's what we're supposed to be looking at, but this one does look pretty nice. SSRM, I'd say that looks nice. Let me look at this bad boy. Yeah, 609, and it looks like it's curling up right here. So keep an eye on SSRM. I'll add an M to that one, And that one's looking pretty decent right there. So there you go. I don't know if that's what we were supposed to look at right there, but it's not looking too bad. And how about MIGI? Mawson Infrastructure Group. This one took a huge dip yesterday and a nice bounce back, huh? MIGI. Let's see. We weren't looking at it. It did have that bounce like kind of look, but 110 to 144. I'm not saying it's going to continue to bounce up though, so I would be careful. It could just kind of flatten out or dip down a little bit. So, like I said, be careful. It's got to get stuck up over this 131. It was at 132 and then it dipped down to that 119, and that's the only reason why I'm saying that. It's got to get up back over that 132 if it wants to get that push and start bouncing. So keep your eye on MIGI for that. And LEV, this is the one someone was talking about, and I think it was running up today. It did in the after hours. There you go. Someone mentioned this one today, and I did look at it. It was just kind of running around. I'll tell you what it even did. It was opened at 35. It ended up getting up to 66 and it's at 59, but it closed at like 33 and a half. So it wasn't doing anything real crazy today. And then in the after hours, it went nutty. So LEV, that one did pop up. The Lion Electric Company, this line definitely went on a run. So LEV, and is it going to keep the momentum tomorrow? A lot of times when they pop like that in the after hours, they don't stay up much longer. They could at 4 a.m., but generally don't see them up that much at once at 7 a.m. So keep your eye on it, see if it can do it. And that is LEV, the Lion Electric Company. And how about that UOKA, which was at MDJM or MDJH it was, and it's MDJM Ltd. And let's just take a look. This thing's trying to get set up. It dipped down a little bit. And again, it has to just get up to that 17. It's at 15 right now. And it's just bouncing around right here. So had that run up the other day, but that was when they changed the name and it ran up to $1. But it does look pretty good to me. I'm telling you, it doesn't look bad. Yesterday looks like it's going to be its bottom right there at 14 cents and right under 15. And it's in the high 15s now, and it's not looking bad for UOKA and SVMH. This one we obviously already looked at and it ran up today, so we don't need to look at it a second time. I don't even know why I added it again, but there you go. We added it again. And there you are with them bad boys. And here we go with some more. Do we look at SVM? We had to have, right? Yeah, we just looked at it. I was going to say right before Nature's Miracle. So here we go. Let's take a look at our laptop travel list. Let me know what you guys want to look at. And we're just blasting right through. And then we'll look at our big caps. Crypto is pulling back, I saw, which wasn't pretty, but it's fine. And we'll see what's going on with that as well. So here we go. Let's look at some of these laptop ones. You know that these are going to be nice and set up. I know that we've been looking at a few of them and they're like almost perfect setup. So ATIF, we looked at it. It was down like 1%, but I mean, it's right there. It looks like it doesn't even look like it was down to me. Let me see. It 63 to 72 and it's at 70. I don't know what Finviz is talking about. Like I said, I could look at the chart and tell it wasn't down. Finviz says 70 down to 68 cents and it says that it was down. Don't ask me. I don't know. Like I said, I could just look at the chart and see like kind of what's going on. Just didn't look right to me, so I looked at the trend spider and immediately could tell it says it's up 11%. This thing says it's down like over almost 4. That makes 0 sense. And again, that's why you need accurate charting, and these trend spider charts are just great. But anyway, here we go with our laptop travels. But ATIF, I forget what I was even doing. Yeah, that one's looking really good to try to continue up, and it was running up there. And AZTR, let's see that one. That one's going to be decent right there, just getting set up. It's kind of curling back just for a hair, maybe tomorrow. So just let it get set up there. Yesterday was probably that bottom, and it's going to roll off. Its bottom was 45, and that one's looking pretty decent right there. I know we looked at BACK, that back iMac Holdings, and this one is curling up. It did run today, it looks like. Let me see what it did. We were just looking at it the other day, and it did run up 112 to 121 and back down to 111, and still doesn't look too bad. But there you go. It did have a nice little run. And again, these things run up pretty fast, and they don't all run 100%, but they do run. BGLC. This one ran up the other day. It looks like it could be just pulling back. Let me just see. BGLC. Actually, mine looks a little different here. 29 to 32. It's at 30. It doesn't look terrible. Could be pulling back. I'd have to look at that one, BGLC. And let's look at CLRO. There you go. A clear one. This one has that crazy look. It's trying to do something. It was running up today. CLRO. Let me look at this. 52 to 58, back to 49, and it did it. It was trying to run. Wouldn't be surprised if this gets in that channel of like 50, 52 to 56 right there. It tried to curl up and then it just disappeared in the line. So they just went kind of together. So yeah, I could look at that one. CLRO, DRMA. That's at Thermata Therapeutics. We were just looking at it, and this one's pulling back. These were looking pretty good yesterday, just a little pullback. And again, they're right between that channel, so they're all running around there. This one was 127 to 129. Its low is 120. It's at 121, and it's right in that channel right there. It's just going to continue running up and down in that channel. FRGT is at Freight Technologies, and this one is doing the same thing, has the same crazy look as two ago. CLRO, actually, I mean, almost the exact same look. And it does look like it wants to go back up. FRGT. So, yeah, it's got to get back up over that 172. It was at 176 today. So keep an eye on that. Maybe it stays in the channel. I'll have to keep an eye on it and see. Is that GIPR, Generation Income Properties? And this one is just kind of bouncing around. This one's getting set up though, so keep an eye on this one. GIPR, that one is getting set up. HOFV, Hall of Fame Resort. This one had came down, dipped down the other day. I remember looking at it, and it's trying to move back up. Let's see, HOFV. It is trying to go back up here, so. It looks pretty healthy to continue up. Today was a little pullback, 119 down to 112. We'll have to look and see if it wants to pull back some more. But it does look like it's trying to set up there. And that is that HOVF and HPHV. Is that what it's supposed to be? HPHV. Let me see if that comes up on mine. HPHV sounds like you it caught an STD, and I can't find that one, so I'm not sure what that is. But that sounds crazy. KXIN. I know that one's a real one, and that's up 3 cents. I'm telling you, this one's actually looking really good, guys. I could see this one. I've been saying it to you because I was looking at it. I could see this one starting to get cruising tomorrow. I'll even put a little asterisk next to it for you because I think that one has potential to get moving tomorrow. That LMFA, keep an eye on this thing. It did run up today. We were looking at it. And what it do today? Because I did see it up a little bit. Let me see. 314 to 336. It's back to 293, and it never crossed through, but it is going to get set up, guys. So I think these guys have like Bitcoin too or something. Yeah, their Bitcoin holdings valued at 13.3 million in monthly updates. So there you go. All these companies are buying Bitcoin. They were smart because that's what they were making money on. And they tried to take Sayer's philosophy, and it was a good idea there. MDIA, let's see what that's up to, media company. This one's getting ready to pop off too, it looks like. It's right there. I mean, this one's getting set up. MDIA, I would keep an eye on that one. MMV, let's see what you're up to here, Multi Metaverse Holdings. Just pulling back. Maybe it'll have that bounce right there. MMV. I'll keep an eye. It probably will. It looks like yesterday was at the bottom down there at 34 cents. You're back at 39. You'll probably get a roll off there on MMV. NITO. That's at N2 off Inc. And that one was setting up. It looked great. It's just right between that channel of 21 to 23. This basically went 23 to 21. There you go. Exactly what it ran today, right in that channel. And it probably will do that and get set up there. So that's at NITO and PHSH. I don't see that either. Hold on. P PHSH. Now, I don't see that. I know the next one's definite. PSHG is that performance shipping, and that looked so good yesterday, and it just bounced down and did not cross through. It looked really good yesterday. I know that. I remember looking at it, and yeah, it hit that line and just bounced straight down today. Let's see what it did. It went 189 down to 175 and it's at 177. Not even that crazy to be honest with you. It looks worse than it really was. And I still think that that bottom's 173. And so it could get it very well could get set back up PSHG and get rolling again. SLRX. This was moving, I think, yesterday maybe or the other day. It's trying to get curled up and moving SLRX. So keep an eye on this. It's setting up right there. I could tell you that. I would definitely watch it. It ran 142 to 152. It's at 144 and it looks good to try to get moving. And let's look at this one, X Lab. We always look at E Lab. Let's look at X Lab and see what that. I don't see that either. Damn. I know it said X Lab because that might be a token. I see X Lab on here on Coinbase or on crypto, I mean, and it's just the verse tether on La token. I don't even know what the hell that is, but that's the only one that even came up as. Let me see, XLABU. Yeah, it's the only thing that even came up as. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. And XTLB, I think. Yeah, XTLB. And that one actually looks really good. That's curling up, made a nice base, and that one's really good looking, guys. So keep an eye on that bit. Well, maybe in the after hours it wasn't. Hold on. Oh wait, no. XTLB. That was XTL. Here we go. Yeah, nah, it looks good. I'm sorry. I didn't have the right one in there. Yeah, this one looks really good. Gonna jump up over that $2 area. It's at 197 and get cruising. So that one does look good. XTLB. And there you go with them bad boys. Let me go through, see what you guys want to see. And we'll keep on cruising. We'll look at crypto and all that good stuff too. And then we'll pick out all the poppers because that's what's fun and exciting. So here we go. Let me see what you guys are looking at here. Let me see here. Let me see what's happening. I don't know if anyone what is it? CPXD? Let's see. CPXD. That one pulled up here. CPXD. Let me see. Whoops, CPXD. Here we Oh, I guess it didn't pull up there. No, that didn't pull up either. Hold on. What the hell's going on? CPXD. No, nothing came up for that. You sure? Is it sure it's that? Joe Murphy, let me know what that one is. Unless that's like an SC. I don't think that's one though. I almost know it's not. Um yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Let me know what that one is, and I'll pop it on. TSM, I know that one was looking good. That Taiwan semiconductor. We were looking at this last night, and that was looking really good. TSM. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that bad boy. It was curling up to the top. I would think it's at 204. It should get up to that 209 area right there, and that is looking really good. What else? NNE for Jennifer Lee. Let's take a look at that bad boy and see what that's going to do here. Nano nuclear energy. And let's see, that one just appears to be pulling back there. Let me see what it did in the after hours on mine. Yeah, it's just pulling back, hitting that 20. I mean, it does look like it wants to pull back some more. I could see it bouncing off of that 20 though, just the way it's been doing it, or it comes down just a hair more in like the 24s, but nothing too crazy, and then starts to bounce back. So it did curl through coming down. It's hitting that 20. It could pull back a little bit more, Jennifer Lee, and then it could get bouncing right there. So that's what it looks like to me at the moment. NNE. So I can look at that one for you again to see what it wants to do. And let's go ahead and rock and roll through crypto. Hold on, I'm going to hop on the app real quick and see what crypto's up to at this moment. because when I came on, it was down a little bit. It kind of looks a little better at right now. Bitcoin's back at 97,400. Let me see how the chart looks here. Um, it looks great, honestly. So it's just making some room on the chart. And again, it's the 10 and the 30 now, not the 50 and what was it before? The 50 and 100. So yeah, now the 10 is going to curl that bad boy up and take it for a ride. Ethereum's up a little bit, 3,862. And let's see it. I don't think it ever crossed through coming down. No, it stayed on top and is rolling back up. Ethereum's going to get rolling again, guys. Ripple's back at 230. So what the heck is going on here? Yeah. Can I please have asking me for reviews here? Can I have the app? There we go. Ripple is, yeah, that bottom, and I kind of made that bottom. I drew a chart, and I think that bottom just happened, and it's going to roll back up for Ripple, and it could pull back after this run up, to be honest with you. But I think we're going to see them run up. Solana's at what 241 right now, and going to get cruising. It looks like so. SOL, that looks like it's trying to curl back up and just made some room right there. 241. Doge is at 43. And that one looked really good off the 10 too. It looked like the 10, yeah, the 10's going to shoot it up. So that's going to get curled up and looking good. Chainlink's at 2378. And this one is trying to make a base up there and looks like it could run back up there. Chainlink. And let's see what else here. Sheeb. This one looked like it was going to blast off and then it pulled back. Let me see where it's at here. It's not looking terrible. Yeah, nah, it stayed up over. I think you're going to see that curl back up and get cruising again, Sheeb. So I think we're going to be decent with that. It's going to get moving. Let me take a look at WIF. And that is at 348, up 24 cents. I told you this one was going to get cruising, guys. You could already see. And it's about to curl through and really get running. So I might have to jump on that. I should have jumped on it this morning when I know it. And that would have just been a quick, I just nailed that for like a swing trade. Like I said, I just trade crypto. It's just fun. It moves so fast and I just have a good time with it. Look, I have the bots set up and all that good stuff. So anyway, that's that. Let's look at Bonk right here. See what else is happening with that. That's up just a little bit, but let's look at the chart. It touched that actually bonk came down and touched the 30 and now the 30 and the 10 are touching and the 10's going to curl it up and rip bonk up and make it go wild. So that's going to be a good one. And Jasmine's been running. I know that that one I have too and that one's been jamming. And that's been way up there. It's up like over 20% today, and it ran way up. And I have a feeling you're about to see Sheeb kind of do this type run. So Jasmine's way up there as well. Let's look at XLR. I think it's Stellar. Oh, I just went somewhere. Let me see. Where'd it go? Here it is. XLM. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. XLM. This is another good one. Stellar. It had recently run way up there. It's trying to make a base. Just let it pull back and make that base, and I'll let you know. But at 47, it is making a base around there. And there you go for crypto. That is your crypto report right there. And like I said, they're looking pretty strong. So I'd say they're nice. And let's go ahead and hit our big caps and all them guys. And then I'll run through the scanners and let you know what looks like it's going to pop. And then we'll call it a good Thursday night. And there you go. So let me look at the SPY. I don't even know what it did at the end of the day. It was down $1 to 606 and came back. I knew it was down, but I didn't know what it did in the after hours, and it came down 51 cents. So let's look and see what they want to do. And again, they could pull back. It's just been like teetering up there. So we'll check them out. And there is a Thursday night game. The Lions and the Packers are on. The Lions are up 17 to 14 in the third quarter. So there you go with a little NFL report. And here we go with the rest of the stock market. GameStop, Roaring Kitty decided to come out of hibernation today and do a little tweet. And they do have their earnings next Tuesday. And this thing started to curl up and run right there. It did get moving. GameStop, GME, it went 26.85 5 up to like 30 87, and it's curling up and looking good, guys. So keep an eye on that bad boy. AMC, it was jumping back up too. That's curling back up. Remember, I've been telling you something was going on here. It ran up to like 556. It's at 522, and I have one option that expires tomorrow. It's way up, and then I also have one that for AMC that's Oh wait, yeah, for AMC that expires, I think in like a month. So I started to do that little thing, and yeah, this thing's gonna be running up. It looks pretty healthy, so that looks nice. Ran up to 556, and we're at 523. So AMC got moving, and how about Chewy was down, and I think it's just about to get set up. They just had their earnings right today, and yesterday they had their earnings, so it just pulled back. But it looked like yesterday was its bottom there, 29.90. Didn't get that low today, got the 31. So see if this thing's probably going to get set back up now. And again, I will never touch the earnings because you just can't tell what the heck it's going to do. It looked good, pulled back. Who the hell knows what they want to do? But anyway, here we go at Nvidia. It was down just a hair. It was up today, and then it came back just a little bit, but it's about to cross through that line, I think, and get cruising. Just kind of went flat and getting set up here. So keep an eye on the video. We'll see if it gets crossed through tomorrow and gets popping. And let's look at Apple because that was just kind of flat, I think, too. Yeah, it was up like 3 cents, but it's just sitting on that resistance line and sitting flat at the top. It could do anything right now. And it looks like it wants to run up higher tomorrow, is what Apple looks like. So keep an eye on Apple. And that's AAPL. And of course, Google, GOG, that did pull back. It ran up a little bit today, 177. It ran to 177.71 and then came back to 174. And it looks like it's at 173. It is curling up and getting cruising. Again, you just have to watch for these bad boys to dip and rip because they do love it. They're just pulling back right before they want to pop. So that's why you just have to be patient while they're setting up and get them at the right time and the right price and your money. So Amazon, AMZN, this was up. We figured it was going to continue up. And again, like I was saying, it was bullish around the holidays. You knew it was going to be moving. So there's Amazon. Meta did pull back like $4, and it could bounce back up tomorrow. And again, I did sell mine yesterday, that option up there, and like I said, even if it bounces up, I'm perfectly fine with it. And it could do it could pull back, set back up. We'll look at it tomorrow morning, be able to tell. And that's exactly why I got rid of it, because that look just, I had no idea what it wanted to do. And I said, all right, the probability and risk here, I don't know. I'll take the profits. They're bigger than any going to any job. And boom, I locked them in. And again, if it goes up, I just move it and allocate that to the next big popper. So that's how you look at them, and just don't get stuck in them and get out of them when they're way up. So that was Meta, Microsoft. That was up 520. And again, this thing's just been cruising, guys. It started to run and it is running now. So it may even get up to that top. I was actually impressed that it was running up today. And Tesla's always running. I'm telling you, it's about to curl up and get wild in that top. So keep an eye on Tesla because it's about to get past that 369, and into the 380s, I bet. So there you go. I think I just told you the other day it was going to 369. It was like at 357. And there you go, because it was going to hit that resistance right there, and it did it. And then it even went through, I think. It went even higher to 375 right there. And that is Tesla TSLA. And let's look at Nike. That was just up a little bit. And again, it's in that channel. It is curling up, but it's in that channel. I think it's going to wait to really pop off. And that one's going to be a decent one that gets set up and run for us. Rivian's been setting up, and it was up 38 cents, and it's curling up. I told you guys this morning, look at it, because it looked like it wanted to get moving again. And PLTR, who wanted to short that thing? Why did I tell you guys that last night? I think I did like a 4 minute spiel about why you do not short PLTR or SOFI. and there you go. You would have got smoked today. It went up over $2. So opened at 70, went up to 72.98, and it's sitting at 72. So yeah, you would have gotten crushed at 70 and short in that thing, and it's at 72. And honestly, it looks like it wants to roll up even more tomorrow. So you do not play with fire like that. And that's exactly why I gave you that speech yesterday. Multiple people asked about shorting it yesterday, and that would have been a disaster for you today. So I hope you listened to me last night and took my experience to heart, because I'm telling you, you don't want to play with things like that. Even though Sophie came down 67 cents, still, I mean, now it came out the top. You might be safe doing it down to that 1475 area, and you're at 1565. But really, I mean, are you gonna risk it with this thing? I mean, there's the probability and risk. Again, you look at it, you just say it's not worth it. This thing could do anything it wants, and it's out of its mind. So I don't want to be involved with that thing. So again, you don't want to be shorting these things either. You can ride them up, that's fine. Play the momentum. They've been crazy. Well, referee just got hurt. I don't know what happened, but he's out and everybody's out on the field for him. So I'm not sure what just happened there. But anyway, yeah, you don't want to be shorting these bad boys, because they'll crush you, I'm telling you. So you can see why I was talking about it last night. And again, PLTR just had that look like it wasn't exactly ready to come crashing down. It looked like it could pull back, but it didn't have that crash down look. It better have that crash down look. Sophie almost has it, but I still don't even trust it. So again, just be very careful with them bad boys, and that's it with them. And let's look at Dell, DELL. It was down $1.03 today, and another one just setting up beautifully. I think you just let them get set up a little bit more here, and let them just keep patient with it. I think that bottom was probably at 121 area. It's at 125, but I think it still has some time to set up, so you can keep your money and allocate it to better ones than Dell at the moment. But again, that's why we're looking at these and picking the best ones for the best opportunities and locking them in. And that's what you got to look at. So Snow, that one's 183. You don't want to be messing with this at the top. And again, we've seen this thing so far down here at like 113 or something. It was ridiculous. So that was SNOW. And I was saying it wanted to have a blizzard. AMD, this one was looking really good and had that pullback today. And I think this one might try to get bouncing back. Let's look at it and see. I mean, it did run up from the other day when we were looking at it. It's at 136. It ran up to 144. It was nice. It still looked like it wanted to get up there a little higher, but it did pull back a hair. And let me just look. Yeah, it's just a little pullback. Honestly, it could just be a little pullback today. So we'll take a look at that bad boy AMD in the morning, see if it wants to jump back up. QCOM, another one just pulled back, was looking great, jumped up yesterday and just had a little bit of pullback. So like I said, the market was all over the place today, and it was just up and down. So they were kind of hard to see. PayPal just pulled back a little bit, down 29 cents, but another one getting crossed through and super bullish up there. SMCI, this was down a little bit, and another one. It's just getting set up right here. I think your 20 and your 50 are going to meet, and it's going to catapult it up, and that's going to be like next week sometime. So these things are setting up, like I keep saying, and some of them are popping. We kind of know which ones are popping. Intel keeps pulling back. It's going to hit this bottom and be perfect, guys. I'm probably going to be playing this thing because it's going to be a beauty down here. Let it come back probably tomorrow. It was down like another dollar today, INTC. And yeah, this one's going to be a nice bounce, and it is setting up to be super bullish off of that 22. So this one's going to be an easy one because you can easily set that strike price because it bounced down so far, and you'll be right through that strike, and then it's going to pop. So you're going to be way into it, kind of like my AMC right now. So that's going to be a nice one, INTC. So just be patient with that one, and we'll nail that. Disney, that was down a little bit, but again, it's at 116 and way in the top. I mean, we knew that was running up over 100 and went to 117 area. It's pulling back right now, so let that pull back. Oxy's one to keep the eye on, and I was looking at it today, and I didn't get involved yet because it just wasn't ready. It kind of bounced down a little bit more, pulled back. Maybe it's going to hit that line tomorrow. So there's going to be a bunch of them I'm keeping an eye on tomorrow, and we'll go through them and I'll keep you posted because, like I said, they could bounce or they could even pull back a little bit. And that's what I'm waiting for to see if you get some really good opportunities. Because, again, if you catch these things on a really nice dip and then you set your strike for like $1 higher and it just blasts right through it and keeps going, you're way in the money. And obviously, it just keeps going higher and higher, and the percentages are crazy. So they're not like stocks where it just goes up a little bit. They start really moving, especially towards that expiration. So OXY, definitely keeping an eye on that one. And let's look at Exxon Mobil here, XOM. And this was up 50 cents. It almost looks like it has that bottom there, and it is setting up bullish. So this is another great one to keep an eye on. It's setting up, and I'll let you know if it's ready. Mara was down today, and it looks like it might cross down and come through. And that's why I was kind of saying, crypto might pull back a little bit, but nothing crazy. I think they just have to make a little bit of room to get cruising again because Marriott and Riot were looking great yesterday. Obviously, when Bitcoin was over 100,000 and now it went under a little bit, they're kind of pulling back, but I think they're just getting that extra setup time and getting ready to rip again. So keep an eye on them bad boys because they are going to get cruising. And MSTR, it was way up this morning, came way down, but I think you're about to see a bounce off of here because it hasn't gotten really through to 20 yet, and that's at 371. And it bounced off it yesterday, so I'll definitely be watching MSTR tomorrow. And another one why I didn't play that today because I was looking at it was way up, and I said, it doesn't look like it wants to keep flying. And immediately came back down, so that was a nice one that it pulled back because I said, wow, we can catch this one at a great price. And when it wants to run back up, it's going to go up like over $100. It's going to be a beauty. So you catch that, the ETF and everything with it, and just nail them. So that's exactly what we're going to be looking at. And again, if there's no great opportunities, just don't force them, and you wait for the great setup because it's worth it. And if you trade one or two smart in a week, you're gonna make way more profits than if you try to like trade 10 of them or a bunch of penny stocks or this or that. You're just gonna, like I said, you just zero in on the best opportunities and nail them. So CLSK, this one was dipped down a little bit, but still not looking bad. It's just pulling back and going to be setting up again for down the road. And these things could be even setting up for after the holiday. Remember, Christmas coming up really quick now. Considering what it's the 5th already, it's like 20 days away. It's insane. So we basically have a full week next week and a full week after that. And then after that, you run into the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and you have Christmas and Hanukkah beginning like right there at the same time. And so yeah, and then you go into New Year's, so that week's kind of slow sometimes, but you will see poppers, and but yeah, we could just see a little setup period, which is perfectly fine with me. I mean, they were just cruising, and they are looking super bullish, and then obviously you're gonna have Trump coming in the office, and then his whole entire administration's gonna be changed over, and then things are gonna really get wild. So especially in the crypto world. So anyway, let's get cruising, but that's what everything kind of looks like. And I like to look at the future and see what's going to happen. Coinbase was down $10 and was trying to crawl through again, got up over that resistance and pulled back. So let it pull back, and all of these will be a great opportunity, like with CONL, the ETF for this. That'll be a great one. So that's why you just stay patient with them, and if nothing looks perfect to you, just keep your cash sitting there and wait for it to look perfect and load up on a great one. DJT was looking great, pulled back. It doesn't look terrible. It's just flat as it went through and could easily bounce right back up tomorrow, but it is setting up to get running. That 20 and 50 are meeting up, and you can see both of them are going to curl it up. So that's going to be fine. And fun was down a hair today. But another one, it's getting curled up. It's about to hit the line right now to cross through. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And MTN, this was down. It ran up over like $10. I know it ran up a little bit. Opened at 192 and got up to 195. It came back down to 190. It's at 191. And it's just sitting there. I was looking at it today. I'm not so sure it wants to pop up more. It could pull back, but it is setting up. And again, I was telling you guys this down in like the 160 area, I think, when we started looking at this thing, and said it was going to get bullish, and boom, it got up into the 190. So there you go with Mountain MTN. That's Val Resorts. And let's look at good old McDonald's MCD up 438. And I'm telling you, it's finally bullish. I said what I say it last night. It was going to get moving finally. And yeah, you're going to see this thing start popping up. So keep an eye on it. I think it's going to bounce right through this 299 and get over and keep cruising up past 310 right there. So that's MCD, good old McDonald's. And Boeing, this was down $1.61. It is pulling back, but again, it's just jumping up and it's setting up the kind of run up. So I'm not sure what's up with that. SPCE space was down, pulling back down there, and just not looking great. It was looking much better the other day, and it definitely pulled back. So we'll have to see if space wants to run and get bouncing back up there. And AVGO, this is Broadcom. They have an ETF, so we're going to be looking at this guy, and they do have earnings coming up. I remember next Thursday, so just kind of bouncing around in that channel. Probably won't do much with that before the earnings. And that's AVGO and MU, that Micron Technology. This one is setting up and it's kind of pulled back today. They also have their earnings coming up on the 18th. So that's in 2 weeks from now. And this thing is definitely setting up. It almost wanted to pop today. Give it like a day or two. That bottom's right here at 96. You're at 100. And this thing is setting up to get cruising right there, MU. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's like that's going to be a really good opportunity very soon, MU. So we'll definitely watch that. And good old Netflix NFLX. This one I think hit like an all-time high today. It was up to like what, 927, something crazy, and it still looks like it wants to go up. So keep an eye on Netflix maybe for a little momentum opportunity in the morning, and that's NFLX. And we did look at TSM, the Taiwan Semiconductor, and it is up. So let me see if I missed anything and see what you guys want to look at, if anything. And there we go. CANF. Let's look at that bad boy. What is that? Can Fight Biopharma. That's down in the basement down there. At least it looks like it. Yeah, that's down there. That ran like crazy, what, yesterday? And yeah, the fourth, it ran 201 to 3, and then today 156 to 164 down to 146 right now. And that's CANF. I'll have to look at that. I don't know if it really wants to have it. I mean, holy cow, it could. That could have a little dip and rip right there, guys. I would keep an eye on that tomorrow. Who said that? CANF. Uh, Zhang 90. That one, honestly, that one's a funky one right there. I would definitely keep an eye on that tomorrow and see if it wants to get bouncing. CANF, definitely strange. Drew Ski wants Walmart and Amazon. We did Amazon. Let's look at Walmart. That's probably one to add too. That's a big one. $95, and it's just cruising up. I remember we looked at it down here at like 85 like a couple weeks ago and said it was getting bullish, and it's just been continuing run up. Not I wouldn't chase it up there at the top like that, but it is running up right there. And again, Amazon's been running up. That one's probably going to pop up off into the top, but again, market conditions may dictate that one tomorrow. So we definitely have to see what the market's going to look like. SKK, I almost put this on the list. I looked at it. It's just trying to curl up still. Um, that bottom is down here at 116, and it's at 129 in the after hours. Just a big curl up right there, SKK. So again, as it curls up, it's going to bounce around. It could close lower than the price that it was the day before, but it could run higher than that price too. They do it all the time. So yeah, that's just got a big old fish hook right there. So just keep an eye on that bad boy. That's SKK. Um, and let's see, what else do we have here? Did I miss anything else? NIO. Let's look at that. That's that Chinese auto manufacturer. I know that. And this bad boy is curled through, looking good. That actually looks really good. NIORD. I like that one. That looks solid right now. 462 to 472 at 463. Oh, that looks really good, guys. NIO, you might want to keep an eye on that bad boy tomorrow morning. It looks really healthy right there. So I would keep an eye on that one. And there you go. I would say that's that. And I'll go through the scanner and look and see what we have on there real quick. Let me just take a quick peek and see what's on Bitcoin, on stock twits real fast and see what's happening. And that Jasmy coin, MOG is a coin, GameStop, SOUN, that one, Soundhound, that's up, AMC, Uber's way down. Let's look at Uber. What the heck are they up to? UBER, let's look at it, down 693. A nice big old dip for Uber. And that could be a great dip and rip situation, guys. Watch Uber tomorrow. I'm going to keep an eye on Uber right there and see if it wants to try to bounce. It very well could. So what happened to them today? Why Uber dipped today? I might have to open this up and see now. It's a Yahoo thing. Let me see if I can figure this out real fast. Do. Oh, of course not. At first may seem odd, but the company didn't make any major announcement. Blah blah blah. I have no idea. If anyone knows, I don't feel like reading the article. And there you go. So they did dip, and yeah, that's Uber. I'll keep an eye on that bad boy though. That's a nice dip. PATH, I remember looking at this UPath or UiPath or something. This one's running up there and setting up pretty bullish. It did run up today. I don't know if it's going to really run up tomorrow. Let me see. Yeah, it ran up today 1546 to 1668. It's at $14 now. Looks like it might be coming back down. Lulu's been running up. We looked at it in that RKDA, and we already looked at that bad boy, and that was way up there. RKDA. And that's at Arcadia Bioscience, and that thing ran up big today. So we already looked at that, and there you go. That's our stock twits right there. And yeah, there we go. Let me take a look at the scanner real quick, see what's happening with that. And then we'll see what's happening. What else? Asian shares slip on South Korea risk and dollar on guard ahead of payrolls, and Asian shares fall ahead of jobs data. I guess there's the jobs data tomorrow. All important jobs report looms tomorrow, I guess. So, with a rebound expected, stock futures are a little changed ahead of key jobs report. So tomorrow is going to be a jobs report. So that will be the market effector right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And let's go through and see what's happening here in the scanner real quick. MSTZ, that is obviously the micro strategy. And yeah, it did run up today, but it still doesn't look like it wants to get out of the basement. So that's MSTZ. Be very careful. That SVMH ran up. How about that MTEM? We just looked at that the other day, and that one ran up today and could keep that momentum. I know we just had it on the list last night, and 39 to 78. It's at 48 cents now. And again, these things move so fast, but we are definitely looking at that bad boy, SOUN, NVIDIA. Plug, that's run up. I gave you guys that. Intel's down. That's a beauty. Lucid, that one's been setting up. Let's see what it's up to right here. It's down a penny at 209. And yeah, this thing's getting set up, guys. And that bottom was way down here at like 193. We knew that. And it's at 209. LCID. So keep an eye on that. It's trying to set up. I'll look at it tomorrow and see what it wants to do there. American Airlines ran up today. I did see that run up. RGTI is trying to stay up in the top, but I would be very careful of that. Tara ran up. We knew that. iBit, that one could be coming down. NIO looks great. I'm telling you that. And Tesla looks good to keep running. That MIGI, we're definitely keeping an eye on that for that bounce. And then we just looked at Uber, and that GWAV did stay up in the top. Remember, I said it probably would, and it did today. It kept on running 81 to 109, so it had that look yesterday, and it stayed up there. Green Wave Technology, so that was a good one for you. RKDA and SMCI. Ford was down. This one's going to be a good one to take a look at because it's way down there. And like I said, PLTR, a good thing no one was shorting that bad boy because you would have gotten killed. QBTS was up, that quantum, D-Wave quantum. And let's see what else. XTIA is getting, trying to get popped up there. That SOXL, I'm telling you, this is that semiconductor bull. And this thing was pulled back, but it's setting up to be pretty bullish right there. So we will definitely keep our eye on that bad boy. And CDIO was up. So yeah, we've already seen everything. Snap was pulling back. Let me hop over here, see what the volume looks like. If anything crazy grabs my attention. And here we go. Um, what's this guy? ZBAO. Holy cow. Yeah, this one might be one to take a look at tomorrow, guys. ZBAO. I would say look at that one. We'll check out that in the morning. I'll write that bad boy down right there. That had a bottom right there. It wants to curl back up. Let me see it on mine. That's ZBAO. Oh wait, well, we might have missed it already, guys. 247 to 764. It's at 760. I'm looking at it on here on FinViz, and it's literally, I kid you not. Oh well, it did say 629. I don't ever look at that. I look at the chart, and then I just kind of look at it. It just don't even see that after hours price because it just I look at the chart for the pricing, not the after like the actual numbers, and so yeah, I didn't even notice that. And it does say it went up to 629, but yeah, there you go. It did pop up, and yeah, the chart definitely looked good, and it definitely ran. So that one already ran right there. Let's see if we can find the next one. PBM looks pretty good. Let's see what that's up to here. I know it's one that we looked at. Let's see. They recently split. It was trying to run PBM. And it did run up today a little bit too, 296 to $6 and kind of pulling back. So that one had a little bit of a run there. FOXX looks pretty crazy. Holy cow, what happened to this thing? Just kind of dipping down, trying to run up now. I'll have to look at that. It almost looks like a shell company right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. JZXN trying to run up there. Let me see. JZXN. This is a China truck dealership. We talked about this one before. That one looks like it might keep some momentum tomorrow. JZXN. And there's that MIGI. And this one looks crazy. Straw, STRW. Let's see what that's doing. Strawberry Fields, right. Okay. Somebody's a Beatles fan. Anyway, let's look at this. We went all the way down to the bottom. I would say keep this on the radar. STRW. Let me see. STRW. How much did it even? Yeah, pull back a couple dollars there. 11.11 up to 12.38 down to 9.44. It's at 9.70. So keep an eye on that bad boy. Not bad. And we'll see another page here. See what's happening. Yeah, that BJDX ran today, the Blue Jay. That had reverse split and it ran. This thing looks like it wants to start popping up here. Hold on. STSS. Keep an eye on that bad boy. That looks like it might try to get moving again there. STSS. That looks like it did today already. 198 to 399. Well, there you go. It's nice when FinViz doesn't tell me anything because I'm just going through looking at them and you can see which ones are want to pop and they've already popped and they can't even. It doesn't tell me on here, but you can see I can. They give you that look, and you can immediately tell. So let me just cruise through one more. That SVMH we were already all over, and we looked at this too. SISI the other day, that Shineco company. What's that up to? It was running up yesterday, just a little pullback. Doesn't It did pull back a little bit today, 17 cents or so. Oh, that ran up today too, didn't it? Is that today's date? It has to be. Yeah. 284 to 395. We just looked at it the other day and it's back to 231. So there you go. And like I said, there's nothing really that crazy. So We'll definitely be up at 7 a.m. to see what it's going to do in the morning for pre-market, do our Jolie's jumpers and our laptop lowdowns and our crypto and everything else. So there you go, guys. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything on the messages. I think I got everybody. And there we go. And how about that? We'll end them pretty quick. We'll pick out the poppers, and I already tried to scan through earlier, find out what's rocking and rolling. And then every day there's not going to be a million of them, so that's perfectly fine. It's almost like a little transition period right now, and that's all good too because we know what's going on, and they're getting set up to get running. And we'll catch each popper on the way up in the big caps and all the important ones. So there you go, guys. Greatly appreciate everyone hanging out. Laptop Travel, O'Hare's Bastard Child, and Luis Rodriguez, and RD Jennifer Lee, the Pink Wolf. And there's Zhang 90 and Winter Mute Sherry, Bongpri Chan, and NorCal Al. How are you, Jay Kratz? Dwight's on there. Dwight Shoot. Joseph J is on there, and Joe Murphy, and who's Freedom Fighter. There you go. Dominic, Michelle, and Drew Ski, and so many others. I greatly appreciate everybody hanging out always. And like I always say, if you have any questions, shoot me a message, a comment, DM, whatever you want to do. I answer everybody. And if you want to look at anything in the morning, just let me know. We'll be on at 7 a.m. and we'll see what the Friday's gonna, how the week's gonna wrap up on a Friday, and see what Friday's gonna look like. So there you go, guys. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of the football game. I'm not sure what the score is. It's at commercial, but you have I think the whole fourth quarter left. And there we go. We'll get cruising through these, pick out the poppers, like I said, and really just zero in on what's important, and just crush the market every way. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Have a great night, and I'll catch you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody. See you at 7 a.m.